Big Rab Show Podcast is kindly sponsored by G1 Reeds. They are the champion's choice, with many bands around the world playing G1 products, providing everything you'd need to hit the circle or the big stage. So, check out g1reeds.com as they keep the lights on here at the Big Rab Show Podcast. Hello there, everyone, and welcome to another Big Rab Show podcast. How are yous, folks? Hope you're all keeping rightly out there in podcast land. Yeah, time for another Rab Show pod. And the title of this week's episode sort of does give it away as to who we're catching up with. Yeah, we have another in our Meet the Band series, and this week we're catching up with the Kevin R. Blandford Memorial Pipe Band. And that's to come later on in the show in this week's topic of the week. Now, for those of you that like to skip ahead and just check out the topic and ignore all the news and all that stuff, well, fair enough. We'll see you all later in the topic of the week. But I would urge you to stick around because we've got quite a lot of good stuff to get through on this week's show. Quite a packed episode. So, yeah, let's get into it. First of all, our introductions. If this is your first ever Big Rab Show podcast, well, how you doing? You are welcome. We are the show for the bagpiping folk. We reflect everything in the bagpiping world, be it Celtic music, folk music, or indeed our bread and butter, which is competitive piping and drumming. Each and every week we're here talking about what we know and love to be the music of the great Highland bagpipe and its people. And, yep, that old cliche, like every other podcast out there, we do have a Patreon. There's a link in your show notes right now. Some people have complained that they can't find it. Yeah, there's a link in the show notes right now. So if wherever you're listening to us on, it could be online on your computer, it could be on your phone, your tablet, it could be in your car, although don't try and access it while you're in your car, please. But yeah, there is a link in the show notes that we produce each week, and in that link you can find us on Patreon. And if you do want to help support us, you can click on support and, help keep your favourite wee piping podcast on the road. And as a thank you, you get your mitts on loads of extras. Yes, loads of extras that only see the light of day to Patreon faithful. So go and check it out. Our weekly Fuse FM Ballymoney radio show is over there to download and take with you whenever you feel like it. Plus, there's tons of exclusive performances, video clips, interviews, episodes of Rab Show Plus. Yeah, there's tons of great stuff back there. And shout out to all of our Patreon faithful. You guys are awesome. There you go. I should really have made that into a sound effect button by this point, as, Patreon faithful are awesome. That kind of thing. Yeah, give them a cheer. But anyway, away from sound effect buttons, let's move on. At this point in the show, we always like to open our door to listener mail, and this week's no different. Our email address has never changed from the outset of the show, bigrabshow@gmail.com. That address again, bigrabshow@gmail.com. I've got a few interesting emails this week. First of all, I'm going to give a shout out to Jim Sim. Yes, Jim, of course, the president of the Midwest Pipe Band Association, emailed us into the Rab Show, and this email is incredibly useful. And let's get into it. He says, "Hi, Rab. I hope you're all keeping well. I just wanted to get you the updated and expanded schedule for the Midwest Pipe Band Association for 2026. Wow. And he's attached like a full running order of the competitions that are about to happen in the Midwest Pipe Band Association branch, which is fantastic. He says this will be our largest season in years, and we will once again be using the audio adjudication system this year as well." That deserved a yay, because, this audio adjudication system, we've spoke about it many times here on the show, and even we've spoken with judges who have used this system as well, and they absolutely love it. So it's great to see that it's getting another outing this year. So I'll be following the progress of that, Jim, so thank you for letting us know. He also goes on to say, he says, the Inverarian District Concert, which is on June 12th, as part of the Chicago Highland Games, sold out in a matter of 40 minutes. Yes, it did. We spoke about that last week, about just how quickly it sold out. He also says that the entry for events is now up and available on the new website. Oh, a brand new website for the Midwest Association. Go and check that out. MWPBA.org. go and have a look at that. Yeah, so, yeah, the full listings of all the competitions and, right, I'm not going to go through a hashtag list right now, but I did want to mention this list of competitions for the Midwest branch. It's a lot. It runs all the way through from mid-March through to the end of September, you may as well say. And, yeah, we'll talk about it later on in the news and updates, but there is quite a list of competitions on offer here from the Midwest Association. So huge shout out to Jim for sending that through. Thank you so much. But also shout out on the new website as well. That's exciting also. Yeah. Now, last week we also got email correspondence asking about the new RSPBA website. Seems to be everyone's developing new sites at the moment, ourselves included in the Rab Show, of course. But yeah, our own headquarters are in the process of developing a new website, and we are waiting on that launching. Let me see. I'll hit the button here now, actually. Just now I'm talking to you. RSPBA website, rspba.org. Yeah, it's still showing we'll be back in full marching order soon. Now, that's cryptic. Now, I'm very aware that work is ongoing behind the scenes in launching this new site, and as to what it will look like, how it will function, no idea. In fact, when will we see it? That's another good question. So, no idea. But you can see the updates on their socials, and yeah, be very aware that they are working on this behind the scenes. So, yeah, new websites aplenty. Very exciting. The Midwest Pipe Band Association have one. RSPBA headquarters are working on one. And ourselves in the Rab Show, we've got one as well, with a brand new shop on there. All right, let's fly on. Another little bit of listener mail. This one came in from Ian. He said, "Hi, Big Rab and team. Just sure if anyone has brought it to your attention." Okay, he says, "But Rory Stewart and Alistair Campbell from the Rest is Politics pod are both pipers, and it comes up on their show pretty regularly." Okay, the Rest is Politics podcast. I don't think I've listened to that one. Let me see. He goes on. He says, "I think it's fair to say they are raising the profile of pipes amongst a group that might never otherwise come across them." Okay, that's fair. Yeah, if they're talking piping over there on a politics podcast, yeah, I can see that. He says, "I think you should invite them on to the Big Rab Show to talk piping. Kind regards, Ian." Right, the Rest is Politics podcast. I have looked into it, all right? They have like over 500,000 subscribers on their YouTube channel alone, and wow, yeah, they're quite a huge podcast by comparison to ourselves, who are a wee bagpiping podcast. You know, we're small fish in comparison. I don't know much about politics, to be honest. I don't really follow politics at all. Maybe that's why I haven't listened to that pod. Politics just really isn't my thing. But sure, if they want to come on the Big Rab Show, absolutely. We'll talk about piping until the cows come home, as they say. Yeah, absolutely. But if they want to talk politics, then I will not have the first idea. Not the first clue. So, Rab, do you want to talk about what's going on at number 10? Is it beside number 9? I don't know. No clue. So, yeah, there's an open invitation there. If they do want to appear in the Rab Show to talk pipe bands and piping, all that stuff, absolutely. Yeah, I would love to. There you go. So the Rest is Politics pod. I'll have to have a listen to that, actually. I'm curious now to see what their conversation about piping is in the middle of all the politics talk. That's a curious one, Ian. Yeah, thanks for sending that in. All right, we also got an email here from the City of Plymouth Pipe Band. How you doing, folks? Yeah, they were on a previous episode, actually, of the Big Rab Show, so it's good to hear from them again. He said, "Good afternoon, Rab and team." There you go. So we have posted on our socials, but we are still recruiting players, both parading and competition. Yeah, so they're particularly keen to recruit a couple of tenor drummers to fill out the midsection. Yeah, so there you go. Any tenor drummers out there who would like to take up the challenge with the Plymouth Pipe Band, then go on ahead. Check them out on social media, the City of Plymouth Pipe Band. There you are. His email goes on to say, "We're going on to our first year in Grade 4A after a very successful 2025 in 4B, including becoming All England champions and 6th place at the World Championships." Yes, indeed. We spoke about that at the time. It's, fantastic year the band's had and deserved upgrade to 4A. Definitely a strong sounding band in 2025 for sure. Looking forward to seeing them this season, yeah. He goes on to say, we have already been successful in recruiting from all across the UK and Europe, and with some incredibly strong additions to the core group. Kind regards, the City of Plymouth Pipe Band. There you go. Well, do you know what? I am really looking forward to seeing you folks on the grass this year. That's for sure. Now, we do have plans in the works for us Rab Show team members to actually attend a number of competitions in England this season, and hopefully the All England Championships will be another one that we'll be attending. So, looking forward to seeing you in Grade 4A this season, the City of Plymouth, and good luck on the recruitment there for sure. So anyone is interested in taking up that challenge, do contact the City of Plymouth Pipe Band on their socials. There you are. All right. So, folks, that's pretty much it for listener mail. At that email address again, bigrabshow@gmail.com. Yeah, send it in. And we've been answering questions and stuff. We've been, I don't know. The merchandise is moving. I'll say it. Oh, it's fairly shifting by. All right. The Big Rab Show merch, the Big Rab Show shop has been doing really quite well. A lot of you folks out there are snapping up your Rab Show merch. So huge thank you to everyone who has done so. You know, even buying like a mug or a hat or something with our logos on it, it's quite cool, you know. A lot of the stuff on there is quite sweet. So thank you to everyone who has done that. It really does help support the show. But yeah, we're not clothing distributors or anything like that. We're podcasters and piping fans, you know. So we'll do our best to fulfill orders and answer questions as they come. But you can go to thebigrabshow.com. There's a big button at the top of the page that says shop. And that you can check out all the sweet, sweet Rab Show merch. It's over there now. There you go. So that's been the bulk of our mail, I guess. So if you do want to send in your own questions or queries or anything to do with the Rab Show, anything that we've spoke about on this episode or previous, then please do get in touch with us. bigrabshow@gmail.com. Ooh. Also, seeing how we're talking about Meet the Band, later on the show we'll be meeting with Kevin R. Blandford. I just wanted to throw it out here at the beginning of the show. There's been a number of bands that have reached out to us recently and wanted to be a part of our Meet the Band series, which is fantastic. We absolutely want to hear from every band out there. Now, if anything, there's been a couple of bands that reached out to us and say, "Hi, Rab, we want to be on Meet the Band, but we're on Grade 4B. You'll probably not want to talk to us." Now, I don't know where that came from. We absolutely want to talk to everyone. You know, we talk to bands at all grade levels, even bands that aren't competing and haven't stepped in that circle. Either way, you're still a pipe band, and we want to talk to you. It is called the Meet the Band series. So no matter what grade you compete in, or even if you don't compete at all, we still want to hear your story. Every band has a story to tell. It has a history and a legacy in some cases, with a lot of bands who aren't in the circle, but have definitely had noted success in the past. I'll say that. So for every band listening right now that has reached out to us, we are in the process of lining up all of those conversations. And do reach out to us, bigrabshow@gmail.com, and just put it in the subject line of your email, Meet the Band. And we'll absolutely, catch up with you at some point and hear your story and bring it to a future episode of the show. So, no, it's not just for the top flight guys. In fact, I don't think we've done a Meet the Band on any of our top flight bands in Grade 1. I don't know. That could absolutely be stuff the Rab got wrong. I don't know. But anyway, if you do want to be a part of Meet the Band, which is, I don't know, I'm absolutely loving these. You know, some of the stories that we're hearing for the bands that you would see in the circle day on daily and each week, and you're just well used to seeing them, and you never really know about their background, the story, where they come from, how it all began, where they are now. It's so fascinating to me. I love these. So, I don't know. I'm hoping that you're loving them as well. Please do get in touch with us and let us know either way. If you love them or you hate them, and we'll keep them coming, I guess. Yeah. All right. That's a bit of a plug for Meet the Band. Right. At this point in the show, we would normally do Weekly Drone. Unfortunately, there is none. Yeah. Where's my trombone? There it is. We don't have any Weekly Drones this week. Now, that tells me a couple of things. Either Number one, everyone's insanely busy at band practice and can't be bothered to visit the website to tell us a story, which is fine. Or everything is great in the bagpiping world. Is that the case? I don't know. I do believe we have a lot of stuff that's ongoing and we could be talking about, but piping world's being mysteriously quiet on a good number of things, and perhaps it may be required of me to bring it as a future topic of the week here on the show. Now, I'm being very cryptic, aren't I? But I'm sure there's a lot of stuff out there that would be definitely worth discussing here on the Rab Show Pod. And yeah, if you folks aren't going to bring it in Weekly Drone and let me know your opinions on it, and then we can explore all of that, then fine, I will handle it as a future topic of the week. Now, there's a lot. Okay, and we will get into it. And you can keep your suggestions for future topics of the week, of course. You can submit them through Patreon, or you can email us in bigrabshow@gmail.com. But yeah, this week, no Weekly Drone. Yeah, so we've got nobody complaining, nobody yapping. There's nothing. It's strangely quiet. So if you do want to submit your own Weekly Drone, of course, you can go to our website, thebigrabshow.com. That big red button at the top of the page that says Weekly Drone. Send them on into us, folks, and we'll explore your opinions, warts and all, on a future episode. Now, I do think that perhaps what might have put people off is that last week I spoke about a couple of Weekly Drones that we couldn't broadcast due to, well, name dropping and name calling, I guess, and potential liable statements through Weekly Drones. So, yeah, I know we do have to employ a certain bit of editorial, but most of what we get in Weekly Drone, if not all of it, normally sees the light of day. There you go. Anyway, I'm waxing lyrical now about Weekly Drone. We don't have any this week. Send them in to us, if you so wish. bigrabshow.com. Big button, Weekly Drone, and we'll, bring your thoughts here to the show. All right, folks, I think at this point I'll go and take myself a wee break, but we will be right back with all of the news and updates. Ever wish you had a piping teacher on call 24/7? Well, now you do. Introducing the Interactive Player, a game-changing new practice tool at Dojo University. Play along with world champion pipers while the notes on your sheet music light up in time. Loop tricky phrases, slow down tough sections, zoom in to focus, and build speed automatically. It's like having a teacher right in your practice room, showing you how to master every tune at your own pace. So, sign up for a free trial today at pipersdojo.com and start learning smarter with Dojo U's Interactive Player.
Ready to take your playing to the next level? Say hello to the ES Session Chanter, the ultimate practice chanter designed for versatility and durability. Crafted from stainless steel and aluminium, the chanter comes equipped for both an A stem and a B flat stem, giving you the freedom to play along with any instrument, anytime, anywhere. Whether at a band practice or a trad session, the ES Session Chanter keeps pace with your creativity. Included with the chanter is the custom carbon carry case, the perfect addition to this compact and tactile instrument. To get yours, head to essessionchanter.co.uk.
Yes, time for all the news and updates, and a huge shout out to our sponsors to help keep the wheel turning here at the Big Rab Show. Thank you. Right. As I've mentioned earlier, there is loads of news and updates and stuff that we need to get through on this week's show. But I just wanted to say by way of a precursor that, there will be some stuff that has to hit the cutting room floor for time purposes. Otherwise, we will be here all week. But, if there is a news story or that we do neglect to mention, then please do email us in bigrabshow@gmail.com, and we'll absolutely try and include it in a future episode. There you go. That being said, I want to talk about that Midwest Pipe Band Association season schedule that we received. Again, thanks to Jim, we spoke about earlier in listener mail. let's look at this. It's quite a list of competitions. First of all, kicks things off on March 21st with the McHugh Memorial Amateur Solo Piping Competition. That's in Park Ridge in Illinois. There you are. A bit of solo piping action to start the season. Then we move on to some indoor competition with the Ohio Indoor Solos and Bands, and that's in Worcester in Ohio. That's in March 27th and 28th. So, yeah, 2-day event there. There you are. Then we have to wait until May for the Pipe Major Ian Swinton Open Piping Competition. That's in Park Ridge in Illinois. And then on May 16th, we have the St. Louis Highland Games. I can just about talk. St. Louis Highland Games, and that's in Missouri, of course, as well. May 16th. On May 23rd, then, we have the Alma Highland Festival. Yes, this is Alma in Michigan, and this is one of the ones that I've been looking at over the years, and this one's quite exciting, that one, in Alma. Yeah, there you go. 23rd of May. So, then on June 6th, we have the Milwaukee Highland Games. Yes, that's a good one too. And then, as we mentioned earlier, on the 12th of June, we have that Inverarian District Concert. Yeah, we spoke about that last week, and sold out in a matter of minutes, for sure. One to catch. And that is, of course, a precursor to the Chicago Highland Games, which is June 12th and 13th. There you are. So a lot of piping and drumming to enjoy in Chicago there. That's exciting. All right, on June 26th and 27th, then we have the Ohio Scottish Games and Festival. Yes, they are. That's in Beara, I believe. Or did I pronounce that wrong? In Ohio. Yeah. On July 18th, then, we have the Minnesota Scottish Fair, and that's in St. Paul. There you are. And we have September 5th, then, for the Wisconsin Highland Games, and then September 19th for Scotfest in Broken Arrow in Oklahoma. Now, Scotfest is another competition that I've followed for this last few years, and a lot of the runs from there, so good. Yeah, so there you go. Shout out to the Midwest Pipe Band Association, and as we mentioned earlier, go and check out their flashy new website as well. It's all very cool. Go and check that out. So yeah, thank you to Jim Sim for sending that over, and for anyone else out there internationally who are in the process of putting together your competitive calendar, please do send the details across to ourselves here on the Rab Show. We've been doing our best to kind of, bring together a list of competitions from all around the world. Now, so far, we've had our South African Pipe Bands Association. They've sent us their schedule. We've had our own RSPBI Northern Ireland branch that are developing theirs, our headquarters, of course, as well. And then, the Midwest Association. So what I would ideally like to see is a list from New Zealand, Australia, and anywhere else in the United States and Canada. That would be smashing. So if you could send that in to us, if a list does exist, then email it to us, bigrabshow@gmail.com, and we can let our listeners know around the world where competitions might be happening near them. There you go. All right, let's move on to another news story. This past weekend, it was really something quite exciting. The RSPBA adjudicators all had a huge meeting online. Now, that might not sound too exciting, but this one was really exciting. This was an adjudicator panel management board meeting held online specifically for ensemble judging. Yes. Yeah, this was for ensemble judging, and it was a huge 5-hour-long workshop and involved all sorts of representatives from all around the globe. Yeah, now you're talking UK, Ireland, Australia, British Columbia and Canada, but USA, New Zealand, everywhere. And they all tuned in online via Zoom to check all of this out. Now, for a full breakdown of everything that was discussed, including the musicality of MSR playing, moving from a single discipline to ensemble discipline, also discussing things like what is an effective ensemble critique, and talking about the emotional aspect of pipe band music and how to break it down and actually note it down on a sheet. Absolutely fascinating stuff. Again, I have to give a huge shout out to Rab Matheson and everyone there at the panel who put all of this together. This was a huge body of work, and this was all reported publicly thanks to pipesdrums.com, and who published a huge article all about this. Now, this is kind of part of the conversation around ensemble. For those of you who might have caught our interview with Rab Matheson, and we talked all about ensemble at that time, and he did mention about just how important this is for bands to be aware of. Now, we do know that it is important for our judges to be aware of ensemble and the importance of it, and I think this was part of the way of addressing that. This huge 5-hour-long workshop for our judges was definitely a testament to that. Now, I believe there was, 60-odd people attended this in total? Wow. So, yeah, full credit to everyone who did tune in online around the world for such an interesting conversation. It's clear that ensemble is vitally important in the bagpiping world, and there's been a little bit of a magnifying glass being held over the world of ensemble. And, I don't know if we sparked it, essentially, but it was certainly an interesting conversation that we had on the podcast talking about ensemble, and I did think that sort of started the ball rolling with a lot of people now talking about ensemble in their band halls. Yeah, so a lot of people listened to that episode and really valued the conversation, and as we've said, Rab Matheson himself has agreed to come back on the show again and possibly unpack it that bit more. Now, not only will he be appearing on the podcast on a future episode to talk about ensemble again, but we've now seen that after the adjudicator panel management board have held this workshop, it was kind of all agreed that this was vitally important for bands and that something similar to this workshop should then be rolled out to bands. Now, that is news right there. Now, if your band out there has ever had a question mark about ensemble, now, obviously, we would point you in the direction of that podcast where we did kind of break it down and explain what ensemble is. But the opportunity to actually go to a workshop hosted by the adjudicator management panel, that's going to be worth its weight in gold for all competitive bands listening right now. So, yeah, we will keep you across the details. If this workshop will eventually roll out to pipe bands, brilliant. Absolutely. We'll be all across it, and we'll let you folks know where you can tune in, if you can join it online, or just how are they going to host this. We've no idea. I think one of the biggest challenges, though, would be the international aspect of this. And, well, as we've just proved, an international band of judges from all around the globe can tune in online via Zoom or other means. Well, what's to stop bands doing the same thing? Good question. So hopefully this will work. So I am very, very hopeful that the worldwide pipe band community can avail of this workshop that I'm hoping will be rolled out to bands very soon. Because let's face it, folks, this is February now? Season's not that far around the corner, so as people are kind of tweaking their competitive scores and stuff like that right now, then possibly the conversation around ensemble could be really valuable. So for that full article, including a video interview with Pipe Major Rab Matheson, you can go and check that out. Go to pipesdrums.com. They have that chat up there, including a full transcript as well. So, yeah, very interesting conversation, and well done to the adjudicator panel management board for putting all of this together. A 5-hour-long workshop on ensemble. That's heavy going, and I'm sure there was a lot of ground covered. Yeah. So, well done to everyone on that, and I am really excited to see if this workshop will ever see the light of day and be rolled out to pipe bands. And I think it was all agreed that it was important. I can't wait to see it being rolled out. This would be fantastic. So if you're anyways curious as well, do go back and have another listen to that Rab Matheson episode we had over the holidays. It's been one of our most popular for 2025, and understandably so. So definitely worth a listen, even a couple of times. I know people have been listening to that and even watching the video on our YouTube channel, and have been taking notes and take those notes to band practice. So a valuable conversation, to say the least. There you are. But yeah, well done to everyone who attended that ensemble workshop over the weekend. And I'm hopeful now for things to come in the future. There you go. All right. Speaking of pipesdrums.com, they published something on their website just today, actually, at the point of me recording this. It was really quite interesting. They were talking... Now, I'm not going to talk politics here, right? But this kind of dips its toe into the world of politics. They were talking about entry requirements to the United Kingdom, to the UK. Yeah. They're talking about the brand new system that has been introduced here for travellers who, come past passport control at our airports, or any port for that matter. They're talking about the new ETA, the Electronic Travel authorization. Now, this is a series of documentation that you need to have associated with your passport. That's about as far as I understand it. Now, because I don't follow politics, perhaps this is, an area where I can definitely...
Stuff that Rab got wrong.
Yeah, so if there is stuff that I get wrong, my advice is to go to the official sources that discuss ETAs and the various requirements around your passport and how you can enter the country. So a lot of non-UK citizens, pipers, drummers, drum majors that want to compete here in the UK at various major championships, this will definitely be a consideration. Now, whether you're performing at a concert, a solo event, or a band competition, doesn't matter. If you want to enter the UK, you will now need to have one of these ETAs associated with your passport. Now, in my experience, this is kind of a similar process as to the ESTA, as it's called, the ESTA, or even Canada's ETA system. So ESTA is for the US, Canada, ETA, you get the idea. It's kind of a bunch of paperwork that you need to get sorted to allow you into the country. Now, from what I understand, and according to my show notes, an ETA allows you into the UK for up to a period of 6 months. Yeah, now this could be for tourism, business, family visits, to study, etc., and perhaps compete at competitions. There you go. So go and see all of the official documentation. Don't listen to a piping podcaster talking about passport control. I know nothing about passport control, but this is an interesting article all the same. You can go to pipesdrums.com, who've done their best to break it all down. They've included links and everything to official websites as to where you can get further details, and along with the associated costs involved with an ETA. Yeah, how long it stays valid for, all that kind of stuff. It's very interesting, and one of which I don't know much about, but definitely if you are traveling internationally into the UK, do make sure that you have your paperwork in order. The last thing we want is for you folks to be turned away at passport control, at immigration, and say, nah, sorry, I know you're due to play at the Worlds, but you haven't got an ETA. We need to send you home. Wouldn't that be a disaster? Please don't let that happen. Please be aware that you need to have your relevant travel documentation in place. There you are. Just a heads up. Well, speaking of a heads up, this past week we got an announcement from the William Grant Foundation that the Eagle Pipers Society will once again be running the Captain John A. McLennan MBE Memorial Dinner and Recital Competition. Yes. Now, we've been covering this now for the last few years. It's a very swanky event, very glitzy, and the dress code is absolutely black tie. Yeah, it's very, very, red carpety kind of thing. It's very swish. Now, I haven't actually managed to attend myself, but it's definitely an event I would love to get to, because over the past number of years, some of the performances from this has just been blistering. So, I might check this out in future. So the details that were announced, of course, is the date and the location. It's happening on August 29th, and it will be held in the Caledonian Hotel in Edinburgh. There you are. For more details, you can go to bagpipe.news, where they have published the details of this upcoming one, including details of previous events as well. Tickets are priced at 65 quid and will hopefully go on sale later on this year. Now, they haven't been finalised just yet, but we do hope to have that information soon. But you can go to the Eagle Piper Society website, where hopefully that detail will be published soon. But yeah, get that date in your diary, folks. The Captain John A. McLennan MBE Memorial Dinner and Recital Competition is happening August 29th. There you are. Speaking of glitzy affairs, well, I just want to give another plug for an upcoming event that the RSPBA Northern Ireland branch are holding here locally. Yes, to celebrate their 75th anniversary, just to remind you, I've already mentioned it on the show, but just to give it another plug. Yeah. This is all happening on the 21st of February, and it's in the Lamont Hotel and Country Club. Woo! Yeah, it's very fancy. So, again, the dress code is black tie, so come in your best dressed possible. And but yeah, tickets for this are 60 quid per person, and there is discounts available as well. But yeah, this is going to be a very, very glitzy affair. That venue, the Lamont Hotel and Country Club, very nice. I'll say that. And you do get a good feed in it too. You know, the food there's great. Anyway, so if you do want to go and grab tickets for it, they are still available, and you can go and help celebrate 75 years of the Northern Ireland branch. And 21st of February, get your glad rags on, have a party. That's going to be all sorts of great fun there. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to briefly mention this past weekend's competition, the Metro Cup. Now, we did speak about this at the time last week about, rolling into this event. We were hoping for like live stream and video, from this event. Well, they live streamed the entire thing and it was fantastic. So, hi, congratulations to everyone involved. And now this also, was the RSPBA Intercontinental Championship. Yeah, and the winner of such an event was Blair Beaton. So well done to Blair. Congratulations. The RSPBA Intercontinental Champion. There you are. And so, yes, for the full results, of course, you can go and check out the Metro Cup on their socials or on their website, themetrocup.com. Full details of all the winners were there. But, congratulations to Blair Beaton, who won the overall RSPBA Intercontinental Champion. There you are. Fantastic. So the details, as I said, are up on the website, but so is the live stream across on their Facebook page. Go and have a watch at it, folks. The standard on display here was just fantastic. Do you know who I'm going to pick out, actually, that I really enjoyed? Was Michael O'Rourke and his hornpipe jig. That was something else. That was really good. And also, let's see, William Pastor, I think. Yeah, just fantastic. Anyway, go and check them out. I'm going to start dropping names now. People are going to get upset that I don't mention them. But go and check it out. The performances were just fantastic. Well done to everyone involved there at the Metro Cup. Thoroughly entertaining, and well done to Blair Beaton lifting the overall title. Well done. Okay, I know this is only February, but I'm going to start giving a plug for Piping Live. Yeah, I know, it's months away yet, but an opportunity has arisen for pipe bands that you will not want to miss. Yeah. Now, the doors have now officially opened for pipe bands that want to play at Piping Live. Yes. Now, remember, we list these every year, the free pipe band performances that they hold in Buchanan Street and in other parts of the city. Well, they want a pipe band to play at each one of those. So if you're heading to Piping Live this year and your band could play a tune and entertain a crowd at the Piping Live Festival, get in touch with them. They're wanting to hear from you. Contact at pipinglive.co.uk. Now, some of these performances over the years have absolutely melted your face. Yeah, some of the bands over the years have just been absolutely fantastic. And hey, to be a part of Piping Live is fantastic. One of the biggest piping festivals in the world. Absolutely. Why would your band not want to be a part of this? Yeah. Now, bands, just to give the full details, bands will be playing at 3 different points down Buchanan Street. Now, this will be for 15 minutes at each point. All right? Now, they're being very specific with this, because what used to happen is that bands used to play up by the concert hall, and then they disbanded, and no one's seen them again. So this is what they're saying. You need to do like 15 minutes at each of the 3 spots along Buchanan Street. There you are. So the whole session, all in all, including walking between spots, I guess, will take a couple of hours. But yeah, the ability to be able to play in one of the main shopping streets in the centre of Glasgow at Piping Live during World's Week, it's such a buzz. Anyone that I've spoke to that's been a part of this have thoroughly enjoyed it, and yeah, I couldn't recommend it enough. So if your band wants to be a part of things, then email them, contact at pipinglive.co.uk. They want to hear from you now. There you are. The doors are open. Okay, now we are in the middle of concert season, and let's get into some concerts. There's been a few announcements this past week, and one of which that has already been announced, but I just want to remind you, is happening on Friday. Yeah, Friday the 13th. Yeah, for those of you who are superstitious. But this is happening in the Ardrey Working Men's Club. The Peter MacLeod Memorial Recital. And it includes Pipe Major Stuart Little, MBE. Yes, we also have Cameron May and a quartet from Shots on Dykehead Caledonia Pipe Band. Tickets for this are still available, so you can, go and grab those. It's happening on Friday. So that's going to be all sorts of exciting there. The Peter MacLeod Memorial Recital. Yeah, good stuff. Also wanted to give another reminder for Caberfy. live in Aberdeen. Yes, People's Ford, Boghall and Bathgate are back on stage again with their now famous Caberfight concert, and that's going to be happening in the Aberdeen Music Hall, the 2nd of May, 2026, this year. Yeah. Yeah, when else would it be, Rab? So tickets are available now from the Aberdeen Music Hall box office. Go and grab them. Huge shout out to Bucksburn District for hosting this. But yeah, shout out to People's Ford, Boghall and Bathgate, who have promised us to bring some of the greatest hits from that concert. But I'm hoping for some musical surprises at this as well. Yeah, Aberdeen Music Hall, 2nd of May. Another one for your diary that you should already have in your diary, we've spoke about it a few times now, is the Kids with Cancer Charity Night. 28th of March in the Royal Hotel in Cookstown. Tickets for this are now fast selling at the moment. Yeah, and if you are interested in getting them, then do contact Gary Smith on his socials. And yeah, feature band on the night, of course, are Police Scotland Fife. Yeah, so that's going to be an exciting night. Plus a plethora of all sorts of world champion soloists and musicians aplenty. Drum majors too. This is going to be quite a packed night, filled with piping and drumming action, raising money for the Children's Cancer Unit there in the Royal Victoria Hospital in Belfast. Yeah, for the Children's Cancer Unit, such a worthy charity, honestly. And yeah, we're very proud to help support this event every year and help raise as much money as possible. So go and grab tickets for it. This is going to be a great night filled with music and yeah, raising money for charity. 20th of March. Okay, another concert. This one is by the National Youth Pipe Band of Scotland. Yes, this one's happening on the 18th of April in the Glasgow Royal Concert Hall. And I'm not going to try and pronounce it because I could absolutely...
Stuff the Rab got wrong.
Yeah, because my Scots Gaelic isn't that great. You know, I might try it once and then let you know I'm not doing this on purpose. I think it's Duthcas. I think that's, I don't know, that could absolutely be incorrect. But yes, the National Youth Pipe Band of Scotland, that's probably completely wrong. But yeah, there are huge concerts happening on the 18th of April, Glasgow Royal Concert Hall. You know, this concert rolls around each year and it absolutely slaps. It's so good. So many people have told me that, yeah, they've attended previous events and said, Rab, that show would have been, you know, right at home in World's Week, you know? So, yeah, the National Youth Pipe Band of Scotland definitely know how to thump out a big tune and throw a show. So, yeah, go and check out all that information, including go and grab your tickets all ahead of the 18th of April. There you go. Okay, bringing it a little closer to home, I have to give a shout-out this week to Ravara. Yeah, Ravara Pipe Band announced that they're going to be in concert on the 11th of April. Yes, this is going to be in Carrick House Hotel in Clougher. You are. So if you are interested in going to see Ravara in concert, there you are. There's your opportunity. So just contact any member of Ravara Pipe Band on their socials, and of course, they'll hook you up with tickets. Tickets are 20 quid, and as I say, you can get them through any band member. But yeah, that's exciting. The 11th of April, Ravara in concert. I don't know, there's so many great shows on at the moment. It's like really difficult to pick, isn't it? I don't know. You could be out every weekend at a concert and be thoroughly entertained. There you go. That's Ravara in concert. Okay, it's not quite a concert announcement as such, but yeah, we did ask you folks out there that if you had any fundraisers and that coming up to let us know. Well, the Queen Elizabeth Pipe Band have let us know about an upcoming quiz night. That's happening on the 21st of March, and that's going to be held in the War Memorial Hall in Castledawson Town. Yeah, tickets are €5 a person, a maximum of 6 people per table, and yeah, these quiz nights are proving really popular. A lot of bands are holding these now, including my own. So, yeah, Matt Boyd Memorial is holding one on the 14th of March. And, yes, Tullylagan are also holding one next weekend on the 21st of February. Yes, that's been held in the Cookstown RBL. So, folks, we're right in the middle of it right now. Tons of fundraising happening, you know, quiz nights, car washes, big breakfasts. I believe Altnavay Memorial's big breakfast went really well at the weekend. Didn't manage to get to it myself, unfortunately, but yeah, a lot of people I know went and said that, yeah, it was a real good feed and raised a lot of money as well. So it's great to see. Concerts aplenty, gigs all over the place, fundraising happening. It's quite an exciting time of year. Yeah. So for all of that detail, do make sure that you are tuned in onto the Big Rab Show on our socials. We do our best to share those announcements as they drop. And yeah, if your band has a fundraiser, a concert, a gig, anything like that coming up, and you would like us to help promote it, then please do email us in, bigrabshow@gmail.com. And yeah, we'll do our best to share it out for you. Right, I'm going to squeeze in one more little concert announcement that's only just went up there now at the point of me recording this. Yeah, St. Columba's School, particularly their piping and drumming program, are going to be hosting Shots on Dykehead. Oh, yeah. Now, this will all be held on the 6th of March at St. Columba's Church in Kilmacombe. Yeah, at 7:30 in the evening, the doors open, tickets are available. Now, you'll have a mini band there from Shots on Dykehead, and you'll also have St. Columba's School Pipe Band as well on the night. So, I don't know, that's exciting. Now, do you know what I'm hoping for? I'm hoping that St. Columba's School will go up there and thump out some big tunes. Brilliant, give them a big cheer. Then Shots will go up there and play a tune or two. Absolutely, yeah, fantastic. Looking forward to seeing Shots. But then, what I'm really hoping for is give those kids a chance to play along with the Shots folks as I drop my pen. Yeah, wouldn't that be amazing? Wow. Imagine being like a school kid and having a set of pipes under your arm and then getting the chance to play with one of those grade 1 big guns. Oh, my word. I've seen it happen so many times now, and it's always brilliant. It's always good. So I'm hopeful that will happen. So I'm just going to plant that little acorn for any Shots members listening right now, and I'm going to step away from the microphone, say nothing. But that's all happening the 6th of March there. And yeah, shout out to St. Columba's School. That's an exciting event, that. Yeah. Okay, so just before I go and we start getting into this week's topic, there's one more news story I have to bring you. Yeah, I have to give a shout out to Belfast Tradfest, who put out an announcement on their socials just today calling all pipers and drummers. If you're interested in being part of a huge massed band performance in Belfast as part of the St. Patrick's Day Music Festival, well, they want you to contact them. Yeah, this will all be happening on the 15th of March. So if you're an individual player or maybe you're part of a full band, this is quite a unique chance to come together in the capital here in Northern Ireland and, celebrate a rich piping and drumming tradition. So I'm reading from the press release right now. Yeah, so the celebration itself will be led by Pipe Major Graham Harris, with Campbell College Pipe Band will be there. Clonoe Independent Pipe Band will be there also, along with the Major Sinclair Memorial. Go on, the Sinclair! Yep. I'll give you a shout there. Yeah, so this is all happening Sunday, the 15th of March, and will be held at City Hall. Awesome. So if you do want to be a part of that and be, in the mass pipes and drums, that's going to be all sorts of great crack there. So, get in contact with Belfast Tradfest. All their details are on their socials right now. You can contact them direct and they can arrange, where you can get signed up and everything. I do believe you need to register. So you can't just turn up with your pipes under your arm and go, hello, everybody, are we here for a tune? No, you must register ahead of time. There you are. So shout out to Belfast Tradfest. That's going to be exciting there. 15th of March at Belfast City Hall. That's going to be really cool. So we'll keep across that. That's going to be fun. Yeah. Good luck to everyone. And do contact Tradfest for more details. There you are. Right. At that point, I will draw a line under everything. It's time for me to move on and get into this week's topic of the week. So thank you all for listening to this point, those of you who did stick around. For those of you who didn't, well, we'll see you all on the topic in a few seconds. But I think it's time for me to go and get myself a big cup of tea. It's time for the topic of the week.
Kingdom Thistle Pipe Band Supplies for all your pipe band and marching band needs. Supplying everything from uniforms and instruments to custom-designed bass drum heads. They offer it all. Not forgetting their exclusive Kingdom Ghillie Brogues and George Boots, crafted by bands for bands. Kingdom Thistle provides expert product advice and an industry-leading drum refurbishment service to keep your equipment in top-class condition. Also, shipping worldwide. So, stop by their store in Fife or visit them online at kingdomthistle.com for all your pipe band and marching needs.
Marchify, the brand new home of Flam 5 drumming. Check out their brand new Strike bagpipe case, inspired by their colourful, popular and reliable Flam 5 drum cases. The Strike bagpipe case combines durability, style and practicality, protecting every movement. Shop now at marchify.co.uk with worldwide shipping available. Marchify. Every movement, protected.
Hello, this is Allie the Piper, and you are listening to The Big Rab Show.
So, the title of this week's podcast kind of gives it away. We're meeting another band, and this band will be familiar to a lot of folk in the United States, I feel, but maybe not so much here in the UK. However, I've made a bit of a name for themselves in recent years, competing at, at some high-level competition here in the UK, so I'm looking forward to getting into this. This week, we're meeting the Kevin R. Blandford Memorial Pipe Band, or the KRB, as they're affectionately known. And we have quite a number of them on the call here to go through the band's history and where they are and where they're going. So I'm going to start with William on the call. Would you like to introduce yourself, sir?
Sure. My name is Bill Walker. I've been a member of the band for 21 years. It's been a great 21 years.
Right. So you might know a little bit of the history then, that we're getting into all of that. Yeah. There you go.
Absolutely. The main question is, why and how is there a successful and thriving pipe band organization in the middle of the California desert that's lasted for more than 50 years? It just doesn't make any sense.
There you go. See, you're writing my questions for me, Bill. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But also on the call, we have Scott joining us. Hi, Scott.
Hi, Rab. My name's Scott Larson. I've been in the band, well, I think I joined in about the year 2000 or so.
Right.
And, yeah.
So you'll be
That's
fact-checking everything Bill says. Yeah.
Well, Bill has a better memory than I do. He'll tell you exactly what day, time, and month anything happened. So,
Right. I see. An itemized list then, if anything. Yeah.
Yes.
There you go. Also joining is Martha. Martha Hall. How you doing, Martha?
Hi. Well, I joined the band in 1994, and that was my senior year in high school.
Ah, I see.
And
There you go.
so I've been around, and my good friend Michael Sewell, I saw just popped in, and he and I were students of Kevin at Upland High School, and actually so was Scott, and Scott was a former pipe major as well as myself,
I see.
and so
And
it's
that's
just been
how-
around since then.
Yeah, that's how you guys got pulled into the band. So, Michael, you joined Martha at that very same time. Is that right?
Well, a little correction, actually. The band started competing in 1994, but Martha and I had been playing with their performance band since we were sophomores in high school.
I
So
see.
Kevin's first year was our 10th grade year, and we had directly recruited him because we heard so many great things about him as a player and what he was doing with piping at that time. And our former instructor had, gotten busy with their career and work. And so we were, the high school was on a resurgence and we were in a need. And Kevin was the next best choice.
I see. There you go. And the rest is history.
The rest is history.
Absolutely. Also joining us, we have Alex on the call. Alex, how you doing?
Hey, good, Rab. Thanks for having us on. So my name's Alex. I'm the pipe major of the band. I actually only joined in 2019, funny enough, but I grew up around the band when my dad joined. My dad obviously being Bill. So I feel like I've been a part of the Blandford family for a long time. So when I joined in 2019, I felt like I'd been there my whole life. So it's been a really great band family to be a part of.
Just a natural progression for you,
Totally,
Alex. Really. Yeah. It was inevitable. You wouldn't get a choice.
Honestly, maybe, yeah. I don't think I have much say in the matter.
That's
I
right.
wouldn't let go, you know?
Also on the call, we have Justin. Justin, hi. How you doing?
Hi, how's it going there? Justin Hall. I joined the band in '94 after Martha and Tony. They actually recruited me to join the band way a long time ago. And yeah, I've been part of the band for 30 plus years or so.
There you go. Wow. That's what I'm hearing. A lot of people's in this band for ages. So yeah, I expect you to be all very knowledgeable now. Yeah. Hi, Griff. How you going?
I'm great. I joined the band 3 years ago after one of the members of the band now and I were competing in another band that folded, and it's been an absolutely fabulous experience playing with the Blandfords.
There you go. So you're a blow-in then? You're fresh meat?
I am. I started competing back in the early 70s. I think I might be the oldest guy in the band right now, but they've really helped me step my game back up to where it should have been.
Oh, wow, there you go. Do you want to give a shout out to the band that you were in previously, or are we just not going to mention them?
It was the Nicholson's Pipes and Drums out of Westminster.
Ah, there you go. Yeah, shout out to them. There you go. Yeah, and we also have Ireland on the call. Hi, Ireland. How you going?
Good. How about you? Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it. So my journey kind of starts also in 2019. That was my senior year of high school. And a few years previously, I was at Upland High School learning from a handful of the KRB peers. So thank you guys for that. And competing, I've been with the Blandford group for about 4 years and been honored to serve as their lead tenor for about 3 years now.
Ah, there we go. So whenever I've got questions about midsection work, you're the person to go to then, Ireland. Yeah.
Yes, I am.
Yeah. So also joining us on the call, Sean, I think you've plugged your stuff in there. I think it's all working now, man. How you doing?
Yeah, I had to switch my phone, but the iPad wasn't working.
Ah.
My name is Sean. I've been in with the band, I think, for like 4 or 5 years doing bass.
Nice. There you go. So again, in conjunction with Ireland, you take care of the midsection work then, yeah?
Yeah.
I see. Okay, well, with all of our Meet the Band series, it normally has like a running order. And the very start of the running order is, how did it all begin? What were the early days of the band? How did this start? I'll throw it open to the floor. Whoever wants to answer it.
Well, so Kevin Blandford's really good friend, Richard Cook, he was around in the beginning of the formation of the band, and the band started out in 1974 as the City of San Bernardino pipe band. Oh. And the late John Partnan was pipe major of that group. And it just kind of, over the years, evolved into, it became another band called the Gordon Grays. And then it was another, and then when Kevin's parents opened up a shop in Redlands called R.P. Blandford and Son, when they began sponsoring the pipe band, it changed its name and became the R.P. Blandford and Son Pipe Band. But initially, years before that, Kevin, at only like 17 years old, was the pipe major of the band. He was like one of the youngest players. And then, from there, it was R.P. Blandford and Son. And then when Kevin tragically passed away in 2003, we renamed the band the Kevin R. Blandford Memorial Pipe Band.
Yeah. And, so it's named after the man himself, who was pipe major for a while. Can you talk a little bit about Kevin for folks who don't know who he is? Clearly, he was a very talented fella.
Well, he was very talented. And not only that, it was striking for me joining the band just after he had passed about how much his legacy and his mentoring had meant to people. They were determined to carry on his name and his band and to do justice to all that he had invested in everybody and all the care that he put into them and into their music development and just as people. That is a lot of the glue that continues to keep the band together today, is that legacy and the determination of people who knew him to make sure that gets carried on and that his music continues to be played everywhere around the world.
I see. Yeah, he seemed to be kind of instrumental of bringing a lot of people into the scene at that time, like introducing a lot of people to the music. But I'd be right in saying that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got one of the funniest things. I would love to be a fly on the wall of an Upland High School student on the very day when that student comes home dragging some big box in, and the parents say, "Well, hi, honey, how was school today?" And then they pull that noisemaker out of that box for the first time. This family has no idea what just happened to them and what they've gotten into. And the answer is just like one of the best things that could ever happen to you. But it'll take them a while to realize that. So.
There you go. Yeah. So obviously the band carries the name now, and honestly, that is a point of pride, I think, for the membership. And anytime I've spoke to any member of the band, they do speak glowingly of Kevin and his legacy, I guess. So is that something that the band is rightfully proud of?
Yeah, Kevin was such a good instructor, teacher, mentor for all of us. It really, the band has kind of continued on as our love letter to him. After his passing, we continue to play a lot of his music. He was very involved in not just like competition pipe band stuff, but also he has a whole bunch of arrangements with choir and organ and brass. And, we used to do a Christmas concert every year with all of that stuff. We still do. We do our own now. And springtime, we do the Kirk and the Tartans for different Presbyterian churches, mostly kind of out where Kevin used to live. And that kind of stuff has also kind of been part of the band's DNA, some of his compositions and harmonies and all of that kind of stuff. It's pretty unique to, I think, bagpiping.
I see. Keeping all of that rolling, honestly, it's fantastic. Yeah, so keep up the great work, guys. But I'm so glad you mentioned the Christmas concert. Come on. You folks have been churning out some blistering music at these concerts. For anyone listening right now, if you haven't seen the Kevin R. Blandford Memorial, their Christmas concerts, that is, I don't know, it's so Christmassy and so sweet and sticky. It's crazy. So how much work would go into one of those concerts?
It's a lot. You have to start planning it basically a year out. And the minute you start planning, you're already behind. It's a ton of effort. We like to add new things every year. Not everything needs to be new, but we got to keep it fresh, keep people coming back. So there's a lot of good opportunity, though, for coming up with new music, coming up with new ideas, changing up the flow a little bit. I think we've done a really good job of keeping it fresh, and it's actually something I look forward to every year planning because it's a really fun musical exercise for us. And I think it makes the band better to explore that other side of the instrument too. Playing with other instruments, playing with a conductor, having to count rests. The things that are foreign to a piper. So. It's definitely a fun opportunity.
And to be able to step away from MSR hornpipe jig, it's a real different, string to your bow, I guess. Like I was playing you guys on Fuse FM. Yeah, I managed to get you guys on the air. And I don't know, is the concert really popular? Like how do ticket sales go on that, for example?
We sold out this year.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. Can't argue with that,
Absolutely. Well, I don't know. I'm going to float a little idea out there, but is it recorded at all? Is it anything like that?
Yeah, so we collaborate with a community school of music here in Claremont, California, and the director, Matthew Keating, is also our conductor, and he's a huge part of making this concert what it is. And his group has really nice audio recordings and video recordings of the
nice
concert.
Oh, there we go.
I think the recording of this year's concert's already up on YouTube, right, Martha?
Yeah,
I think
was going to say I can probably dig up the links to the YouTube and share that out too.
There you go. Excellent. Yeah, so we'll drop those in the show notes so you can go and enjoy that. Because honestly, it was a real highlight of mine, just delving back through the archives of not just this year, but, previous years as well. It's been really enjoyable to watch. And, right, so speaking of previous years, I did manage to bump into you guys at the World Championships recently. What a week that was. How did you guys find your last trip to the Worlds?
We had a great time, it's hard not to,
Yeah.
So, reason we keep going back, right?
That's it, yeah. So, well, obviously, bringing it into the competition circle, the tune selection, and, I'm going to throw myself under the bus. I'm a huge fan of your work with harmonies. Right? Now, if anyone hasn't heard it yet, sometimes the 2-part, 3-part harmonies you guys play is just really brilliant. So who does your harmonies? Because they need a pat in the back.
Usually it's our one of our pipers, Daniel, does it. So I'll have to forward your compliments along to him.
Please do.
Daniel
It's really fantastic work. So, I don't know, this incoming season in 2026, what does the road ahead look for you guys then? Full calendar ahead?
Definitely, yeah. We're up against some of the same issues that other bands are up against, right? We're losing a lot of Highland games out in the Western U.S., so the schedule is changing. It used to be that there were, a dozen games you could choose from in California alone, but now we're having to travel a little further afield. So this year we're thinking about going to Las Vegas, the Costa Mesa games, which are basically our local games, the big SoCal games, Chicago, Seattle, so Enumclaw, and then the Ventura games in October, which are lovely games if you've never been, by the way. I have to shout them out. So, but yeah, so there's definitely a lot of travel on our calendar because bands just having to travel further and farther afield. But these are good games to go to. I think Chicago's been really fun for the band. It's a good exposure to Grade 1 contests for us, and it's been really good for U.S. piping too. So I'm really excited for our schedule this year.
Oh, for sure. Now, I'm glad you mentioned Chicago. That is kind of one of the highlights of the U.S. calendar, I believe, and it's one of the biggest there as well. Would I be right in saying that?
Yeah, definitely. It's enormous. Yeah,
it's definitely on my bucket list. I want to get to Winter Storm, Kansas City, and I want to get to Chicago. Those are kind of the big two that I want to get to. Yeah, but obviously, I don't know, rolling into this season, have we got any kind of sneak peeks of any tune selections going on? How's preparations going for this season so far?
I think we've got a pretty cool medley in the works. I don't know if I want to tip my hand yet, but I'm pretty excited about it.
So you're playing your cards close to your chest there, Alex.
Exactly. We've got some big things, Rab.
Good stuff. I love that. Well, one of the questions that we do ask whenever we're meeting the band is, have you had any memorable members of the band over the years? And, what made them stand out, I guess? Is there any names that come to mind? Have any big names come through the Kevin R. Blandford Memorial?
Bull Henderson.
There we go. There's a name.
Yeah. The original bass player. And he could really rock that bass. And he was just so much fun to hang out with. Big smiles, cheerful. You could have a rotten day, a rotten week or a rotten month at work, and then you'd see Bull at practice again. And just your mindset just changes completely. Just a really great guy. And yeah, he could party too. So
that does no harm either. Yeah,
that's
absolutely
important. Yes.
So, well, that's interesting. Is there any other names that kind of jump out to anyone that's maybe thinking?
Eli Fugate.
There you go, Eli. Yeah. A past member. Does he still kind of dip in and out, I guess?
He instructs every now and again. I guess I haven't been around to know if he's still doing it. And Iris as well. Iris helps us out quite a bit.
Yeah, there you go.
That's Mrs. Fugate.
Oh, yep, absolutely.
Yeah, they're a good, Eli was our drum sergeant in 2007. We had a really good run that year in Grade 3A over in Glasgow. We tied for first at the North Barrett Games, which is just such a fantastic game, just so beautiful there. We were knocked into second on ensemble preference, boo. But then at the Worlds, there were 36 bands, and we were second in our qualifying heat, and then placed fifth overall. So we were on a very cold and rainy day. So it was a really great year, and a lot of, if I can give ourselves a bit of a shameless plug there, and just had a wonderful time.
Yeah, oh, for sure. Now, so I don't know, if anyone who hasn't checked out any of your performances in recent years, they really are missing a trick. We mentioned the concerts and stuff, and that is cool, absolutely. But obviously our bread and butter on the show is the competitive stuff. And you guys have been really thumping out some big tunes this last while. You mentioned about the decline of the competitive scene in the US, and that's been a bit of a topic of discussion. Has that affected the band recently? Having to travel quite a distance to pick a fight kind of thing?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's expensive to bring the band anywhere. The talking point for a long time was that it was just as expensive to go to Maxville as it was to go to Scotland, but it's almost as expensive to go to Chicago as it is to go to Scotland, and Chicago's only a 4-day games,
Yeah.
So it's a big administrative strain on any pipe band trying to keep up with the competitive circuit now, because things are so much further. And it's always been an issue in the Western U.S. because it's sparsely populated. It's little islands of urban centers separated by a whole lot of nothing, But it's definitely gotten exacerbated recently.
That's it. And what I'm hearing is pipers, drummers have so far to travel, even for band practice. Would that be the same for you guys? Have you got people traveling in from all arts and parts?
Tell me about it. I drive 2.5 hours Thursday night to get to practice through LA traffic. So
stop. Wow.
Yeah,
I fly to practice.
I would say, I think, Scott's got the longest way to go, but me and Alex, like from his house to my house is probably like a 4-hour drive.
That's insane. And here was me complaining
like
about
150 miles apart. So
yeah, like I was complaining the other week about driving 30 minutes to practice. Like, come on, Rab, you've nothing to complain about, man. Scott, we're all saying that you've got the furthest to go. How far have you got to go?
I live just north of Austin, Texas.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so
I fly to
airplane.
practice. Yeah. I'm actually I'm headed your way later today. I'm flying to London in about 2 or 3 hours.
Oh, right. Oh, so you'll be flying over the top of me in a few. And I'll wave up at you. There you go.
Sounds good.
In case you didn't catch it, he's a pilot.
Oh, right. Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah. Well, so you could fly yourself then to practice. Just land in the front garden kind of thing.
That would be ideal.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic. Well, I know there's definitely a lot of challenges along the road, well, especially now in recent days. 2026 is going to be a challenging year. Do the band do much in the way of fundraising and things like that to help keep the wheels turning then? Does the band do a lot of that?
Yeah, we do a lot of performances, which bring in the money for the band. Our concert being one of our largest fundraiser, really. And just, playing at churches for their various Kirkin services. And we do like Burns Supper, Burns dinner gigs, whatever we can. That's usually how we fundraise. It's through our the gigs that we get, but also our concerts.
I see. Yeah. And I'm sure, times around Burns and even like St. Patrick's Day, I'm sure you guys will be doing tons of parades and gigs like that. Help all fund the band, I guess, going forward.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
We were in a board meeting and I had broken down by the minute how much it costs to play our medley and MSR when we all, and at that time, and this was a couple of years ago since I've been in the band, was at $502 a minute. US dollars.
Whoa.
So that includes all of the logistics going into travel, everyone's time, effort, any staff that we include, and instructions or anything like that, hotel logistics, all of those things I put into a number just to give it in perspective of what fundraising looks like all of the time.
That's crazy. Wow. Now, we joke about it that none of us are getting rich in this pipe band game. If anything, we're all getting poorer. Wow. There you go. Well, I have to ask then, away from finances and all of that, I do have to ask about tuition. We mentioned it earlier about how Eli does a bit of tuition work and stuff. Is that one of the things that the band actively works on, is bringing in new learners and bringing them through?
Absolutely. We work really closely with the Upland High School program, and Michael and Martha and Sean Keating and Ireland and many others have put a lot of time and effort into that. That was Kevin's baby, as Michael and Martha mentioned earlier, and that's really continued. And we're competing for young people's time these days when there are so many demands on their time. Why would somebody in the California desert pick bagpiping or Scottish snare drumming as something to do? And the best thing that we have to sell is what a wonderful community it is and how much fun you have, opportunities to travel. And this year, Martha and Melissa Bouts from Wyoming put together the Upland High School Band with Lander, Wyoming, population 7,560, to bring a youth band to compete in Novice B over in Scotland.
Yeah.
And just the fun that they had. A lot of these kids had never been on a plane before. These aren't rich people. And so this was a huge adventure for them. And the great time they had and the friends they made and the musical progression was just amazing. And it was the first day of practice, I went to it and I thought, uh-oh. But then at the Perth games, just the work that people put in, Stephen Knickel came down from SFU and Cameron Bonar, and they finished 9th out of 21 at Perth and 3rd in drumming. And I was so proud I could have just sung right there. And when they left 2 weeks later, they were a pipe band. They sounded like one. They looked like one. And that's where we get some of our members from. And even if they decide not to pursue it, it's just such a wonderful, life-changing experience, and shows young people that you can succeed when you're competing against adults, and it gives them this musical legacy that they can have their whole lives.
Absolutely.
You can't play American football for 60 years, but you can sure play the pipes and the drums and really have a wonderful time at it.
There you go. Yeah.
The band wouldn't be here today if it weren't for people like Martha teaching the Upland High School program. I think a majority of the band is still Upland High School alumni. Is that right, Martha?
I think
Close
so.
to it.
Yeah.
There you go.
I was going to say that the band sent a lot of our individual members to piping schools like SFU's Piping Hot Summer Drummer program.
Mm. See, so did they enjoy it? How did they find it?
Oh yeah. I'll be honest. Like the band sent me like 15 years ago, and that was probably one of the best experiences I've ever had. So
there you go, and still have the story to tell today, Sean. There you go.
Yeah.
But that's the thing with those young kids. They'll look back at this and they'll say, "Do you remember when we went to Scotland?
Yeah.
You know, and it was like the weather was
Asking
weird.
if
The
they
people
can go
spoke
back.
funny."
Yeah,
right.
They're like, when can we go back? We miss the Lander kids.
There you go.
One of the wild things for me, when I think it was Bill just talking about competing for young people's time. The realization I had a couple years ago, like when we do our Christmas concert, there are people who come every year who have never heard the bagpipes before in their lives.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Whoa. There you go.
Like there's young kids that come with their families to hear the concert, or just adults that come for the first time who have literally never heard the bagpipes in their life, and like that's to me that's kind of a wild thing because that kind of is my life, but.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure,
right?
Yeah, like for all of us, listening right now and chatting, like piping and drumming is our daily life, but for a lot of folks it isn't. Yeah, and they go to a concert like that and they get, smacked in the teeth with a set of Highland pipes. Brilliant, So no, keep up the great work in that regard. Then, yeah, fantastic. So I'm going to go around the room here just as we're wrapping things up, and I want to talk about memorable moments. I'm sure in all of your tenure, in your time with the Kevin R. Blandford Memorial Band, all of you have a different story to tell. So I'm going to throw this question to Bill, first of all. Have you got any particular memorable moment in your time with the band over the years?
Yeah, I think so. I would say it was playing at the World Championships in 2007 because I had been in a grade 4 band up until then, the Misty Isle Pipe Band for 8 years, which is no longer around, unfortunately. And I had joined a very good grade 3A band. The Blandfords had finished second in the world in grade 3 in 2000, first in piping from both piping judges, and the RSPBA had moved them up to grade 2 after that year. And here I am showing up with the gall to say, hi, can I join your band? And the pipe major came up to me that morning and he said, Bill, you're playing on the corner today.
No pressure.
You could have heard my knees knock in Edinburgh. It was absolutely terrifying. But went out there and did it, and we just had a great time. That's another good thing about even when you're as old as I am, when the pipe major puts faith in you and has trust in you, then you that you don't have in yourself necessarily, then it's part of, you never stop growing in life. And that was another side of that, humorous, fun musically, but also, hey, I can do this. Never stop challenging yourself, and never let others be the judges of never let others be the judge of what you can and can't do.
I love that. Yeah,
get out there and let it rip.
Terrifying at the same time, though. Yeah, I know what I mean.
I literally almost died. It was, they were calling the ambulance.
Wow. But what about yourself, Martha? Any great stories to tell?
I have two that really stand out to me. Of course, there are many, many. But the first one was in, I think it was 2001, when Kevin had asked a group of us to play in New York for the Pipes of Christmas concert. Wow. And the first time playing his music, I actually have his CD.
Copy of it.
Originally
cool.
His CDs were tapes, cassette tape, but and the concert based off of his CD here, and playing his music in New York City, and then just kind of going around. He took us all around, and we're all young kids, and he just told us, like, you can do this, this event with me, but you have to do these gigs we have back home. So it was his way of like, hey, do these gigs, and then you can go to New York with us. And so that was something that I'll never forget. And then the second thing is, in 2017, when I was pipe major, I took the band to Scotland in grade 3 B. And I just remember Bruce Gandy was coaching us that week. And when we competed on the day, it was just amazing. It was the best sound that we had, and we ended up taking sixth place that year. And it was just, it wasn't so much winning, it was just that feeling on the Glasgow Green and just everything coming together, everyone working together. Because we had kids in our band, like from Glendora High School, they were playing with us. It was their one chance to play on the end. It was just, I'll never forget that.
There you go. And hearing the name read out in the park, that's something special, isn't it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Scott, you'll have to try and top that, mate. Have you got a memorable moment yourself?
Well, I don't know if I can top it, but I have a lot of memorable moments and some of them that I've forgotten. But I'd say just the one that stands out, my first time in going to the Worlds in 2004. I believe it was 2004. Bill was still playing in Misty Isle at that time, I think. And Richard Cook was the pipe major. I was playing with our grade 4 band. And it was just kind of where I fell in love with the activity versus just falling in love with Kevin's band. And I think, Sean, you were there that trip. We had a lot of fun, and it was, my first proper pint in a pub, and it was kind of the culmination of everything coming together. Another guy that had been in the band about the same time as me, picking me up to from school to go to practice, driving all over Southern California, and to have it all come together in Scotland. I think the results were interesting. I think we got second place in piping from one judge and second to last from the other, or something like that. But
wow! We're going to get into judging now.
Well, no, I understand how that happens, but it was one of those things where we were proud of the performance that we put out, and it was a really nice time.
Oh, excellent! Love that. So, Sean, would that be your own memorable moment, that trip, or have you any other memorable moments to pick out?
I mean, honestly, there were quite a few memorable moments on that trip. Maybe some I can't share.
Some of which we can't broadcast. Yeah.
But honestly, it involves a lot of the folks in this band. It's kind of funny. Like, Scott and I went to high school together, but he's a couple years older than me. He was actually my first teacher, and so back then, probably still now, we had to audition for the pipe band. And thinking back about it as an adult now, Scott, I don't think you told Kevin that you had students that were going to audition. Just kind of
I may not have.
Just kind of rolled us into the band room, and Kevin just gave you this look. His eyebrow just kind of goes up, and he looks at us, and he looks at you.
All very subtle, yeah.
yeah. And so we so a bunch of us all auditioned. I don't think Kevin had any idea that we existed, even a few minutes before that.
There you go.
I say in that 2004 trip, as Scott was talking about, I mean, that was really my first time out of the country. One of the few times I had been on a plane up to that point. Honestly, one of the things that stood out to me was the generosity of everyone in our band. There was a moment there when we were rehearsing pretty close to I think it was the day before we went to the Worlds. Another member of our band who honestly, he's a wonderful guy. He, unfortunately, as you know, for a lot of reasons, not everyone ends up playing on the day, and so this was someone who wasn't going to play. And I actually had a serious instrument malfunction. Everything got wet, and a bunch of stuff went wrong, and I didn't know what to do. And so he pulls me aside, and he helps me take apart my pipes and get everything back in working order and ready to play again. And still this day, that still touches my heart, because he wasn't going to play at that point, but he was still sticking around to make sure that those of us who would be able to. So
a real genuine team effort in that case then, Sean. Yeah. There you go. So Justin, I'm going to throw it to you then, mate. You've been very quiet on the call. You haven't said much, but you're going to top everything now with the most memorable moment for us. Go ahead.
Probably not. It's hard to pull. It really is hard to just pull one moment, or even a few moments over the course of 30 years. That's really hard. So I won't. But what I will say is the most memorable moments for me aside from the adrenaline rush of being in the circle, are the time spent with the friends I've made in the band, related to band trips, outings, going to get something to eat, little humorous things that happen off and on all throughout over 3 decades. There are a lot of them, and I'd say for me, those are probably the things that stick with me the most.
Oh, I love that. Oh, come on, guys. You can't top that. That's brilliant. Because it is very much so. It's the social element of it. Winning prizes and all of that. That is one part of it. But yeah, I agree, Justin. There's the social element too is a huge deal. Yeah. Good answer. So, Griff, I'm going to throw this one to you, mate. What about you? Have you got any memorable moments?
So I've only been with the band for 3 years, but I've competed in bands on the East Coast, West Coast, and I've got to say the Blandfords is by far the most tightest knit group. I don't know how it happens, but there's a joy that comes out when you get in the circle that I have yet to have replicated in any other band I've played in. And it comes down to the fact that everybody is pulling for everybody. And so the fellowship of the band, especially at my age and near the end of my piping career, has been really special to me, because this is like the crowning, moments of playing with some very, very good players that are inspirational and just brilliant at mentoring and helping each other along. So this is a band that has for me anyway, has a lot of joy associated with it.
Fantastic. And again, I'm hearing that team effort is a big ethos there for the band for sure. Yeah. So, Ireland, I'm going to throw the question to you. What's your most memorable moment?
Oh, geez. Most memorable moment for me is probably just the friends and family that I've come to know over the years, and, finding pipe band as literally like a calling to me, because I had grown up with pipe band music in my household forever. And when I got into Upland High School, it was like a whole world opened up where, I can actually play this, So, starting off in high school as this little like baby tenor drummer, like, okay, cool, I'm learning. I don't know what I'm doing, because my mom really wanted me to be a bagpiper, but it just did not fit. But the peers, the friends, or the peers that have turned into friends, a lot of them were KRB members that are still with the band or still have connections with the band. And so that has been fantastic. And one thing led to another. And, between competitions and making even more friends and even pursuing my own, solo route, which I never thought would be something I would do, but here I am. And then, even meeting my future husband, Mr. Harmonies, as you called him, Daniel Croissant. So
love that.
Just the people along the way have made just about every memory I have the most memorable in my life.
Oh, fantastic. Ireland, what a great answer. I don't know. I'm welling up with some of you guys. This is nuts. So, Michael, I'm going to throw the question to you, mate. What's been your most memorable moment, I guess?
Gosh. There's a lot of shenanigans over the 30 years. I had returned to the band back in 2007. I had stopped playing. I had lost the desire for a long time. The teacher that pushed me way too hard, and I was just like, well, I just happen to be good at these things, and I don't want to play them anymore, so I'm just going to put them in the closet and call it a day. But Martha and I, being one of Kevin's original students, from Upland, and then coming back in 2007 and seeing all of the students that had succeeded me, and how we contributed to that in the beginning, and just Kevin's mission at that time, and his his goal for the Upland program and Blandford's, and really wanting to just change what piping looked like, at that time, and really push piping to be better than what it was. And coming back, I felt, I wasn't planning on coming back. I was initially invited to play a concert, the spring concert for pipes, in the spring, and as a guest, and join everyone back up. And so we were rehearsing, and Mr. Sean Keating, I blew up my pipes, started playing, and Sean Keating was just like, when was the last time you played? And I said, it's been about 6 years ago. And he's just like, what? He's just like, but you can still play. And I'm just like, don't get any ideas. This is just a one-hit wonder. Don't get any ideas. And so it was kind of like, how can we get Tony back into the band? And then being able to see, and they had just gotten back from Worlds at that time, and just to see all of the progress that had been done with the band, and how Kevin's death greatly affected the band, when we lost him, it nearly broke them. It got this overwhelming feeling, and kind of Kevin's affirmation of you need to come back and take care of your brothers and sisters and support them. And that's what I did. I wanted to give everyone else the opportunities that Martha and I had, because piping afforded me a lot of opportunities that, never expected. And people still, freak out. Like, you play the bagpipes? Well, yeah, it's just something I do. So, coming back to what has been influenced and what, is now today still pushing what Kevin did, even though, I've moved forward as far as musical projects are concerned, they still continue to do that. They have created a new audience from when we were based in Redlands. A lot of our homegrown people were, unfortunately dying off. And now they've been able to recreate that within Upland and Claremont area, considering that most of the players aren't central anymore and are traveling in. So, I look at everything that they do, with and without me, and just pleased and proud, and I know that Kevin is definitely happy, and, saying his snide remarks, when we don't do our best, and they all know that I'm very, very passionate about what we do, and I can be the hard one, but, it's for of love and their best interest.
Absolutely. Oh, what a smashing answer. So we're going to leave it with the pipe major then. Alex, what about yourself, man? Any memorable moment in your tenure?
No, not one. You can skip me.
Okay, good.
No, I mean, I suppose as pipe major should probably, think about results and, big victories and things, but it's really not what it comes back to with this band. I'm probably going to end up just mashing everyone's answer together into one, but really the moment that defines my impression of the band is when my dad joined. He'd been cut from his previous band. Sorry to out you, but
no, that's fine.
Yeah, so he'd been cut from his previous band, and he reached out to Matt Nonamacher, who was the pipe major at the time, and Matt really invested in my dad, and even as a kid, I recognized that. I mean, the effort he put into him, he really believed in him, he taught him, he gave him the chance to play, and like you said, he was put on the corner at the Worlds. So to see that growth, and someone to take an adult even, and invest that much into them, and to welcome them so wholeheartedly into the band family, that really stuck out to me as a kid. So that by the time I joined years later, I felt like I was already in the band. I felt that same acceptance. I felt that same investment in me from the band. And I see the same thing with people like Griff joining since I've joined, and I'm really happy to hear Griff share a similar experience as well, because I think that really is what defines the band. And to me, as someone who never knew Kevin, and as the first pipe major who never knew Kevin,
I have to kind of look backwards and piece together what it must have been like under him and what his legacy really was. And to me, that's what my impression of Kevin and what the band is. So that's how it's continued on to today.
Folks, you've told such a fantastic story about the bands, and I don't think it's a story that a lot of folk in the piping scene know very well. So for anyone who is interested to find out more information about the band, I assume you have all the usual points of contact, like a website, socials, all that kind of stuff. Would I be right in saying that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, and we will also include links in our show notes and stuff where you can catch performances and that, and no doubt I'll be continuing to play your music on the radio. So
please do, yeah.
Yeah. So everyone, thank you so much for joining us on the call. This has been such an enjoyable episode, getting to catch up and meet the band. This is brilliant. So,
Rab, thank you for giving us this, using your platform to kind of feature bands that people don't know about. So thank you. Of course.
Yeah, you're very welcome.
Thank you for having us.
So
come to our Christmas concert this year.
That's just what I was going to say. I'm looking forward to the next Christmas concert. Yeah. But also looking forward to this competing season, and I'll be keeping a tab on what music's being played in that circle now, Alex. Now you won't tell me anything. Yeah.
I promise you, as usual, it's way too hard and way too ambitious, but we'll somehow pull it off. So
nice. I love that. Good stuff. Well, there you go. I think we've met the band. Thank you, everyone, for joining us on the show this week. Much appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you.
And there you have it. A huge shout out to everyone there who joined us on the call. The KRB. Brilliant to catch up with them. And yeah, I remember what I said. Quite an interesting story and a dynamic band that people should be paying attention to this incoming season, arguably, for sure. Well, folks, that's it for another topic of the week. We have met another band, and that's it for another Big Rab Show podcast. Now, as we said at the beginning of the show, if you do want to be a part of our Meet the Band series, then absolutely email us in, bigrabshow@gmail.com, and your band could be featured on a future episode here of the Big Rab Show. Yeah. Do you know what? I meant this at the start too, but I'm really enjoying this series of Meet the Band. Getting to hear some of the stories from behind the scenes and what makes these bands tick. It's really fantastic, and I've been enjoying them. I hope you have too. And love to hear from you. bigrabshow@gmail.com. Folks, that's it. I'm out the door. Thank you all for downloading this week and each and every week. And here, don't forget to tell your mates about our wee show, about what we're doing over here, talking about the music of the Great Highland Bagpipe and its people. And we'll be back again next week for even more bagpiping shenanigans and another topic of the week to get into. Now, are we meeting another band, or are we getting into some of the meat and potatoes of the competitive world? I guess we'll have to wait and see on that front, but I'll have to wait until next week to find out. Yeah. All right, guys, that's it. I'm away. I'll see you all in the next one. Until then, all the best.
Well, that's it for another Big Rab Show podcast. Thanks so much for downloading this week, and a special thank you to our sponsor, G1 Reeds. Played by bands around the world, they are the champion's choice. Check out g1reeds.com for all of your piping needs. Don't forget to check out thebigrabshow.com to be kept up to date with all of the latest news and views from around the piping world. And also, check us out on Patreon. For $5 a month, you can get your hands on tons of extra piping goodness and be a part of the Patreon faithful. So, until next week, folks, we'll see you right here on the Big Rab Show podcast. All the best.